Most people run on scripts they didn't write. I break the trance. I'm the hypno junkie. Your mind is yours now. Stay awake.
Today, we are going to give a name, a language, to a feeling you have probably had for a very long time. That sense that what you're seeing in the media isn't just biased, it's designed, it's engineered. We're not just pulling back the curtain today, we are handing you the blueprints to the entire building. You know the feeling, right? That little suspicion in the back of your mind. The sense that the news, the daily outrage, all the big narratives, they just feel a little too synchronized, a little too perfectly scripted. It's that feeling that you're not just watching events unfold, you're watching a very, very well-rehearsed play, and you are the intended audience. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to confirm that feeling you have. Yes, the game is absolutely rigged. Then, we'll introduce you to the specific channels they use to maintain control. We'll dig into the actual science of manipulation and what it feels like when they're hijacking your mind. And then, the most important part, we'll get to the good stuff, the actual tools you can use to reclaim your own mind and build a solid defense. All right, let's just dive right into the deep end. That nagging feeling that this whole game is stacked against your ability to think for yourself, well, it's not just a feeling, it's a feature of the system. Let's be perfectly clear. This goes so far beyond a simple political bias or some sloppy journalism. What we're living in right now is an age of scientifically honed, industrial-scale mass persuasion. It's a system designed with a singular purpose, to create specific emotions and specific behaviors in you. So, who are the engineers of this architecture? Well, you're looking at a pretty powerful coalition that has spent the better part of a century perfecting this craft. We're talking about everyone from military psychological operations and government intelligence agencies to the behavioral labs in Silicon Valley. It's a deeply funded, highly sophisticated machine, and it is laser-focused on one thing: engineering your consent. So how does this machine actually deliver its programming? You've got to understand that the different forms of media aren't just different ways to get information. No, they are highly specialized delivery systems, and each one is designed to put you into a very specific kind of trance. You know, it really all began with print. Just think about the classic propaganda model perfected by guys like Edward Bernays. The formula was genius in its simplicity. Use the papers to create one shared reality. Clearly define who the enemy is. Attach really strong emotions to simple symbols, like a flag or a slogan. And then just repeat that message until it becomes an automatic, unquestioned truth. And then television came along, and it brought a whole new weapon to the fight: emotional contagion. See, it's not about the facts anymore, it's about the feeling. You've got the quick cuts, the tense music swelling in the background, the endless loops of crisis footage. It is a precisely mixed cocktail designed to completely bypass your rational brain and inject a state of pure anxiety right into your nervous system. And when you're in that state, you are so much more suggestible. Which of course brings us to the beast, social media. Let's be honest, this is not a digital town square. It is a personalized psychological laboratory. The algorithm is a predator. It learns your unique emotional hot buttons, and then it feeds you a perfectly customized diet of content engineered to keep you scrolling, to keep you outraged, and to keep you hypnotized by comparing yourself to others. So how in the world did they get so good at this? This incredible level of control is not an accident. It is built on the back of a century of deep, intensive research into the very mechanics of the human mind. I mean, look at this progression. This has been a long-term project. It kicked up in the 1920s with PR guys talking about engineering consent. By the 50s, the military was pouring money into covert influence studies. Then in the 70s, you get neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, which literally decoded the instruction manual for how our minds work. And now, today, Silicon Valley has perfected it, weaponized it, and put it on a 24/7 delivery system right in your pocket. And this quote from Richard Bandler, one of the co-creators of NLP, just gets right to the absolute heart of the matter. See, the architects of influence, they don't really care what you think about, they care how you think about it. The pictures you make in your head, the sounds, the feelings, because if they can control that structure, they can control you. And these aren't just some abstract academic ideas. These are the specific tools from the hypnotist's toolkit, scaled up for the masses. You know, when a news channel plays that same scary music every single time a certain person appears on screen, that's called anchoring. They're linking a feeling of dread to a person. When a headline asks, "When will we finally solve this terrible crisis?" that's a presupposition. It forces your brain to accept that the crisis is real before you even have a chance to question it. They are actively controlling your emotional state and handing you a prepackaged identity, the concerned citizen, the outraged patriot, that serves their goals.
Okay, so let's bring this all the way back home, right back to you. What does this actually feel like from the inside? Because I guarantee you've felt this. We're just going to finally put some words to it.
You know this feeling. It's that sudden, sharp jolt of anxiety that hits you when you're watching the news. It's that strange, uncomfortable urge to just agree with whatever is being said, just so you can feel safe and part of the group again. That right there, that is the physical sensation of your emotional state being hijacked. It's the hypnotic pull of a masterfully crafted story, yanking you into its reality. All right, we've taken the machine apart, we've looked at all the pieces. Now let's talk about how to jam the gears. This is all about practical, psychic self-defense. This right here, this is your emergency brake. The second you feel that emotional pull, you have to interrupt the pattern by asking these 3 simple questions. First, who benefits if I believe this? This immediately short-circuits the emotion and forces you to look for the agenda. Second, what's missing here? Every frame, every story deliberately leaves something out. This question forces your brain to look outside the box they've built for you. And third, and this one's huge, what identity are they handing me? Are they asking me to be the victim, the hero, the angry mob member? Recognizing the role is the first step to refusing to play it. One of the most powerful ways to break a trance is something called a state interrupt. It's a dead simple physical or mental action that just shatters the hypnotic loop. You feel yourself getting emotionally hooked by a video, literally stand up and change your posture. You catch yourself mindlessly scrolling, put the phone down and just look out a window for 10 seconds. It sounds almost too easy to work, but it is an incredibly effective way to take back the controls of your own mind. Okay, here's a more advanced technique for you. It's about developing your sensory acuity. This means for just a moment, you're going to completely ignore what they are saying, and you're going to pay attention to how they are saying it. Listen to the tonality of the reporter's voice. Notice the pacing of the video edits. Is the music designed to make you feel scared or triumphant? The moment you can see the technique being used on you, the content loses its power. And this brings us right to the end, to the most critical point of all. The goal of all of this is not to make you paranoid. The goal is to make you sovereign. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The world is, and always will be, full of people trying to influence you. That's a given. Your real power isn't in changing the world. It's in changing how your own mind processes their attempts to influence you. Your freedom lies in how you think. And this is the real takeaway I want you to leave with. The world is not going to become less manipulative. But that's not the point. The point is that your mind can get sharper. You can learn to engage with the world with new eyes and a new set of skills. You can learn to see the pattern while everyone else is still lost in the story. So I'll leave you with this one final question to carry with you. The next time a piece of media makes you feel that powerful emotional surge, to be angry, to be afraid, to feel compelled to click that share button, just stop for 1 second, take a breath, and ask yourself a very simple, very powerful question. Whose thoughts are you thinking right now?